Good evening, everybody. Happy Monday. Lord, is it just me, or does it seem like these Mondays roll around with increasing acceleration from one week to the next? I'm really grateful that you're here, and we'll give a few moments for people to join us. Make yourself at home. We've got a great book to discuss tonight, written by a great man, a Unity minister by the name of Gary Simmons, who has taken the concepts in his book that we're going to discuss tonight and shared them really throughout the Unity movement with various spiritual communities. Good evening, Gita! And the usual suspect has returned. Good evening, Jason. I'm grateful that you're here, and I have to say how grateful I am from the bottom of my heart that you removed the Unity logo from the chat. Because it was really kind of a nuisance. Good evening, Rosanny. Glad you're here. Happy Monday to you. Yeah, let me know you're here by posting a comment in the chat, and then keep on posting those comments in the chat as we move through the evening, because this is an interactive program, and hopefully the material that we discuss will be something that lights some enlightenment within you. And I love it when you share your comments, your perspectives. I don't care whether they agree with me or whether they agree with Gary Simmons in this book tonight. Just hey, Maggie, wonderful to have you with us tonight. Welcome to Shelf Discovery. Hi, Pam, welcome back. Happy holidays to everybody. I think it's finally happening. I think I'm finally getting in the Christmas spirit. I was getting a little alarmed because usually I'm the first one to get in the Christmas spirit, and that wasn't the case this year. Last year I had my tree up before. Yeah, I did. I had it up before Halloween because, we were still coming out of lockdown, and it was like real important to me to get into the Christmas spirit. This year it's been a little slower coming around, but nonetheless. Hey, Dale. Glad you're here. Welcome back to Miami. I think you're back in Miami. And hi, Michelle. Wow, lots of people with us. Aurora. Welcome, 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 everybody. You are about to experience Shelf Discovery, which has been going on for a number of months now in this year. We call it Shelf Discovery because behind me there's a bookshelf that contains the books that have been most meaningful to me in terms of my own spiritual path and growth. And I love to share them with you and get your ideas and your thoughts on them. So please feel free to continue the conversation as you're doing right now. Dale, you're not back, but you're about to take off. Well, have a wonderful flight, my friend. We missed you on Sunday. I don't know if you heard, Dale, we had a special guest with us on Sunday morning by the name of somebody you might know. It was, hi, Marilyn. It was Gloria Esteban. Gloria and Emilio Esteban were at our 11:15 service paying tribute to a friend of theirs, actually a close friend of theirs, to whom the service was dedicated yesterday. So it was beautiful, and it was exciting to be in their presence and have them a part of the energy of Unity on the Bay. All right, let's see what we got here tonight. This is a book called The Eye of the Storm, written by Unity minister Gary Simmons. It's really an interesting book. And, I don't really do a lot of analysis when I choose these books. What I really do is come out of my meditation on Monday mornings and I say, okay, what is it that you want me to share this evening? And what I got quite clearly, it practically leapt off the shelf at me, was this book, The Eye of the Storm, by Gary Simmons. It's subtitled Embracing Conflict and Creating Peace. And before we get into it, what I wanted to share with you was that I believe that it came to me because while the holiday season is a beautiful time of year, and we're gathering with families, we're sharing celebrations, we're exchanging gifts, wrapping presents, decorating our homes, all of these beautiful activities that make Christmas the incredible time of year that it is. And yet at the same time, with that, there can come something of a storm around us with all the activity and all the demands that are placed upon our time. And sometimes we're in the presence of people who we may not share a great deal of time with at other periods of the year, but we get together for the Christmas holidays. And that's wonderful. And at the same time, it can also be an invitation And I believe it's a divine invitation to become aware of the individuals and the activities, the situations that may trigger, I'll call it issues. My son once said, I've got so many issues, I should sell subscriptions. So if you have any issues that maybe you think are being triggered, have been triggered, or could be triggered during the holiday season, this book is a great way to free yourself from victimization of external activities of other individuals, as well as circumstances and situations. So, all right, Dale, you did hear about our guest yesterday. Awesome. Well, I wished you'd been there to greet her, but it is what it is, right? Let's take a stab with the eye of the storm. Let's hear some wisdom now from Unity Minister Gary Simmons. He says, what arises as an adversary in your life comes from within you. Now, that statement in itself is sort of loaded for a lot of people who are not aligned with the idea that the content of our consciousness creates literally our experience. And that's what he's telling us here, is that any adversarial situation or adverse individual that comes into our life is coming from within us. Seeing this is not a bad thing. It's important you know how you are creating resistance and tension in your life. So this is another big statement to swallow. He's telling us that we are the creators of resistance and tension in our life. And I know so often it seems that external situations and our relationships with other individuals are at the root of the adversity in our life. And he's telling us that this is not a bad thing. We are creating the resistance and tension in our own life. Now, this is me talking. We're doing this for a reason. We're going to get into that. He says it's important to see the relationship between thoughts of fear and lack and how they manifest themselves as experiences. The relationship between thoughts of fear and lack and how they manifest themselves, how they become living realities in our world of time and space, our experiences. And he says it appears quite often as though someone or something is against you, not favoring you, not supporting you, not loving you, not embracing you. That's the way it appears. And it's necessary, he says, to take responsibility for your fear-based actions and the hurt they may have caused. You cannot experience your wholeness believing that someone or something is against you. All of these bear repeating, but I'm going to say this again. You cannot experience your wholeness believing that someone or something is against you. What do you think about this, folks? Let's get this rolling. Tell me what you think. Do you really believe this? Do you believe that you are the creator of the adverse situations and relationships that you experience in life? He says you cannot experience inner peace when you are worried that something isn't right with your world. That's also a really big statement, because how many of us can watch the news and look out and see what's happening in the world and really accept this idea that something is not wrong with the world? As students of truth, we must eventually reconcile ourselves to the principle that there is no force in the universe that opposes the life each of us is meant to live. Let's see, Jason. I always get caught up with this one because there are people out there that are just real arses and don't like being, and I don't like being passive with these people. Well, thank you, Jason, because I really don't think it's a matter of being passive with these people. In fact, I don't even think it's a matter of tolerating these people if you don't want to. What I would say is that what you cannot tolerate, or I'll go so far as to say accept and celebrate in your life, this is just my 2 cents worth, will continue to rear its head simply because it is not being imposed or demanded by anything outside of us. It's our own consciousness, I believe, trying to wake itself up. And so you cannot be awakened from something you're not aware of. So this world, this phenomenal, beautiful world, is such a wonderful external mirror of the content of our consciousness. And there's a lot of grace involved in this, because if there is a situation where you just don't feel like dealing with another person or tolerating it, that's okay. It's not demanded on your part. But I believe that from my own experience, these circumstances or situations will show up under different disguises. They might not always look the same, but the root cause is still lodged somewhere in my own mind or in my own heart. And you see, we create this because we know on some level that it's our assignment to be liberated from it. Until we take responsibility for it, we can't really do anything about it. We continue to live in victim mode. I don't have any control over anything that's going on out here, over any of these crazy individuals. And I just have to deal with it and tolerate it. Let's see what's going on here. Gita, thank you, Gita. There is no law of assertion. Oh, yes, my dear Abraham Hicks, beloved friend. No law of assertion, only law of attraction, but still sometimes hard for us to believe, grasp. So true. So true. You see, it's sort of like what I'm going to be talking about this coming Sunday at Unity on the Bay with the real story of Christmas. The way this happens is that we get what in metaphysical terms would be referred to as a star, or an initial glimpse of a different way of life. One that we may or may not be able to initially accept or work with. Over time, if we allow ourselves to remain focused on that star, it leads us to the internal dynamic that is creating the external circumstance. And I personally believe we are never going to experience peace on this planet until we're able to resolve the war that's going on inside of us. The war that we have created by believing that people, circumstances, situations are working against us. And then the natural response to that is like defensiveness, and proving that we're right or superior. What's happening here? Yes, Jason Weeks. And the ones who seem to trigger everyone. Yes, indeed. And aren't they beautiful? Aren't they beautiful? I once read, I think it was in Carolyn Miss's work, where she was saying that on a soul level, we actually enter into contracts before we arrive on the planet. Take this or leave this, but I thought it was interesting. And that the most challenging individuals are often those who have accepted the most challenging roles of being the adversary, of being the difficult one, of being the one that gets our goat or pushes our button. Nancy, hi, Nancy. I'm glad you're here. Wow, you guys are lively tonight. I learned to take this gospel very literally. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. So we attract what we put our minds on. I'm a big believer in that as well. It's the law of attraction, as Gita was saying. Yes, Nancy. And that nothing is imposed upon us. We have to invite it in. Pam, it all begins with us. Amen. It's that song we sing, and it becomes root to us, but it's that song we sing every Sunday. Let there be peace on earth and let it begin with me. If the war within us doesn't come to an end, if we don't stop attacking and defending, there's no way that's going to happen outside of us, because what's outside of us is a reflection of an internal dynamic. Individually, I think, within every human being, and collectively as a human race. Gita, yes, sacred contracts. Jason, they are known as Judas. Yes, they are, Jason. Yes, they are. And you think about that, because Jesus and Judas were very close, almost like brothers, you could say. There was a love there. And who can say that it was not out of the love that Judas had for Jesus that he allowed the most significant series of events in Jesus's life to take place. Events that, if they had otherwise not occurred, Jesus may never have made the impact on this planet that he did. So this is not easy, but here we go. Let me give you some more information here, okay? Some more Gary Simmons. At the center of the hurricane is its eye. Don't we all Floridians know that? A single theoretical point in space where the forces of the storm are in perfect equilibrium. At the I, there is peace, calm, clarity, and stillness. The storm of conflict also possesses a center. And Gary says, I call this the I, capital I, of the storm. As you can surmise from this analogy, the I of the storm is your wholeness and spiritual essence. It is where you can experience the storm without resisting it. At the circumference of the storm, the winds of confusion, blame, and the need to be right blow with devastating ferocity. The center, the eye of the storm, capital I, is where you experience peace, clarity, stillness, and calm. This is why, I know we say this over and over again and we drill it, the practice of meditation, the practice of mastering the art of going within, discovering and then living as much as possible from the discovery of this space of internal and eternal peace. It's, I believe, what I call our unconditioned nature. And it's in every one of us. It's through our conditioned nature that we've lost track of it, but it's still there. Hey, here's Aaron Moore. Hi, Aaron. I'm so happy you're here. There is a saying, says Aaron, that basically there are those people that are encouraging, supportive, and we just love them. And there are those people who are experts at grating on our last nerve. These people are our teachers. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah, I'm grateful. I have had a number of those individuals in my life. There are a couple of them where I've really been able to own my experience and stop putting it off on them through blame and persecution and attack. And what I've discovered is when I enter into that practice of acceptance and of ownership of what I'm experiencing with that individual, there's the ability to make a choice toward peace. There's an ability to make a choice toward laying down the sword, toward laying down my defensive-ness. And what I find in the absence of that is love. And it's a beautiful thing. It's if you want a gift for Christmas, just try putting into practice some of what we're talking about tonight and see if it doesn't begin to transform even your most challenging relationships, but even the relationships with people that you really like. But still, there are going to be those occasions where they're going to trigger you. They're going to ignite your fuse. That's been my experience. So this path of spiritual awakening is for me a path of waking up to owning my experience, my responsibility in the experience. Now, this does not mean, and I always like to remind myself and others of this, that we need to lay down as human doormats for other individuals that are demonstrating abusive behavior. Remember, you're free to walk away anytime. Course in Miracles says we're all going to take this class, but how we take it and when we take it, when we graduate is up to us, and it's all okay. So if there's an individual that you're just not interested or ready to do this kind of work with, no problem. Rest assured the universe will give you another opportunity, but that's okay because the timing is really, really important. You cannot fake your way through this, my friends, because it will be evident. And you can't disguise the content of your consciousness from yourself or from anybody else. So it's not until you really get to that place where I want to put this to the test. I want to liberate myself and this other individual without regard to the outcome of the relationship after this work is done. Now I completely forgot where I was, but that's common on Monday nights with this experience. Let me know what you think there, folks. Come on now. I know you're all incredibly spiritually mature and devoted spiritual students, and I love to hear your thoughts as well as my own and those of our author, Gary, tonight. If there is a storm in your life, you can know that you and your wholeness are at the center of it. Knowing this, you can stop resisting or making wrong those who seem to be against you. You can instead shift your attention and awareness, and you can experience the conflict from the center where you are capable of authentic and principled action. That's another thing I love. Hey, John Denny. I love you, my friend. Haven't seen you in a long time, but I trust you're doing well up there in West Palm Beach. And it's great to have you here tonight. Where was I now again? I like this. You can instead shift your attention and awareness, and you can experience the conflict from the center where you are capable of authentic and principled action. This is not about passivity. It's not about being passive. It's not about laying down and being a doormat to other people's inappropriate behavior. It's about you getting clear, operating out of the center, which you do with increasing effectiveness because of your meditation practice. You know how to get into that center point, the eye of the storm, and you begin to operate out of that without the distraction of your own emotional reactions to everybody and everything. You're acting from a place of calm, peace, poise, and centeredness. And that kind of action, my dear friends, is extraordinarily potent. It can change your life. It can change the lives of those who are in your circle of influence. And at the end of the day, I believe it's the only thing that's going to change this world. All righty, let's roll along here a little bit because he gives us 4 practices and we got a few minutes here. These are going to sound like super simple practices. It's going to sound like Unity Spirituality 101. Hi, Marilyn. Thank you for your contribution here. Let's see. Out of love, first for yourself and then for others. You know, that really is what it comes down to. It's the same thing. You cannot love others without first loving yourself. And Jason says, I've only seen several people demonstrate this in life. And from the outside, it comes across as confidence. Yeah. Obviously, you can tell this subject matter excites me tonight because the capacity for living as we're intended to live extraordinarily powerfully, free of this state of victimization and free of the need to invest our energies in defending anything, especially our need to be right. Nancy, it's all okay. Thank you for saying that. It's all good. Amen. As my sister often says, I need a more obscure gospel that said, be passerby. That helps me kind of, let's see. This is either my eyesight failing me, which is a possibility, or I can't. This helps me kin of mentally and annoyances pass by. I'm not sure exactly what those words are, Nancy, but I do believe, yes, this too shall pass. Let it pass by. Refrain from these emotional charges that come to us. You know, you can't do that if your life is a series of emotional charges. That's why this contemplation, meditation, opening ourselves to the discovery of the center of peace, the eye of the storm within us, is so beneficial. Because, you know, it's a wonderful feeling to be able to walk out in the world and know that you're not a victim of anybody's behavior or of conditions and circumstances. You are the creator of your own reality, your own experience of reality. Gita, they only linger around until we heal what they are here to help us heal. Yes. And then, even if you choose not to remain in their company, you can say thank you. Everybody and everything, nothing is against me, as he opened up tonight. Nothing is against me. Everything is for me, including the adverse conditions and circumstances. And don't you know, the holiday season is a wonderful time, but it's also a time to get a lot of triggers pulled and to experience a lot of charges, even in the midst of all the joy of the celebration. And maybe that's part of it, because we have a heightened awareness of joy and love and peace during the holiday season. And the more that we focus on those divine attributes and qualities, my experience has been, the more we're going to discover everything that's within us that is attempting to thwart these qualities from full expression within us as children of God. So let me just really quickly sort of recap the 4 steps here that he offers us in dealing with adverse individuals and adverse circumstances. Number 1, look into the mirror, love. He says, the real issue is not about the person who stands before you. It is really about what's missing in your capacity to relate to that person from a place of wholeness and self-worth. Don't let anybody deprive you of your true identity here, which is this place of wholeness and worth. You first have to discover it, you have to practice it, and then you'll find this life gives you wonderful opportunities to demonstrate it. The person or situation is not against you, at least not insofar as being an obstacle to your highest good. The person or situation is actually for you. Here it is, mirroring the part of you that is not connected to your wholeness and worth. So embrace the person or situation by allowing either to be a part of your experience without needing anyone or anything to change or go away. Next, value the relationship. What? Yeah. Value the relationship because it offers you the opportunity to grow in awareness and discover your wholeness. So that's the first point he's making. Look into the mirror, love. Number 2, make it mean that it's for good. Bless. Next, he says, bless the person or situation. A blessing is something that you not only speak out loud, but also think to yourself about the experience. To bless somebody or something is to endow that person or thing with the capacity to be a source of good in your life. You make it mean good by speaking kindly about the person or circumstance, like Joseph, who fell victim to his jealous brothers. You can know this. That which man has meant for evil, God has meant for good. Numero 3, do the right thing. Do good. The last thing you probably want to do when someone treats you badly is to do good. Amen. His or her contempt is all the evidence you need to substantiate your need to protect yourself in order to shift from defensiveness to doing something that is an outward demonstration of spiritual maturity. So he's really saying here, the spiritually mature individual avoids defensiveness, realizes its worthlessness. In order to be a person of spiritual maturity, you must know the truth. No one is against you. Doing the right thing means that you let go of needing to be right. That's all. Just let go of needing to be right. Course in Miracles says, ask the question, would you rather be happy or would you rather be right? Initially, I responded to that question was, well, I damn well want to be right. And I've discovered now happiness is much better. Jason, thank you. I've had people angry with me and I've used these steps and it's like a miracle to watch them diffuse their anger just by not being defensive. It's amazing to watch it unfold. Thank you, Jason. And you're the Byron Katie fan here. You know what she says. Defense is the first act of war, not attack. A person can attack you. They can attack me. They can attack and attack and attack. The war doesn't begin until the defense enters in. And rather than be defensive, rather than having to prove the legitimacy of your correct or right position, at the end of the day, what's the value in that? It's robbing you of your happiness. And during this holiday season, I think it's an especially important time not to let our happiness be taken from us to the best of our ability. It's all good. Number 4 and final step. Set yourself and your enemy free. Pray. The 4th step in dealing with a condition, a situation, or a person as your enemy is prayer. Pray for those who spitefully use you or persecute you. Those are more than Gary Simmons' words. Those are the words of our elder brother, master teacher, and way shower, Jesus Christ. Pray for those who spitefully use you or persecute you. You may feel like a victim in the presence of your enemy. If this is true, then your prayers are likely attempts to free yourself from the relationship or the situation. In this case, it is important to remember that the relationship or situation is not against you. It is for you. It is there to gift you, inviting you to embrace your wholeness and worth. All right, my friends, we need to wrap it up tonight. I could go on with this book for quite a while. I really believe, especially now that we've had this time of sharing, that the reason why it popped off the bookshelf as the one to be discussed tonight in this prelude to the Christmas holiday season is because this is the season of love. of peace, of joy. And my dear friends, we're not going to have those experiences, I don't believe, until we acknowledge another great line from Course in Miracles. I am doing this to myself. There's nobody punishing or persecuting out there. It sure seems like it, but that's only because we've taken the unconscious parts of our own consciousness and character, projected them out onto this world of time and space and all the cast of characters in it. Now, at this Christmas season, what a wonderful opportunity to take back our power, which we gave away, and then allow that power to live our lives. That's a great Christmas gift, Unity on the Bay. Thanks, everybody, for being with me tonight. I love you from the bottom of my heart and always enjoy these times of sharing. Thank you for your participation. Love you too, Jason. Love you, Pam. Love you, John. Love you, Nancy. Love you, Gita. Merry Christmas. I'll see you next Monday night, 6 p.m. Shelf Discovery. We'll have some more fun. Be well, blessed friends.